There comes a point in life when you realize that kindness, though beautiful, must be intentional. When you're younger, you're taught to be kind to everyone, and maybe for a while, you tried. But the older you get, the more you understand this truth. Your time, your energy, your peace, they are sacred, and not everyone deserves a share of them. Welcome to today's video. 5 types of people you should stop being kind to, especially as you get older. This isn't about becoming bitter. It's about becoming wise, because not all kindness is kindness returned, and the wrong people will turn your generosity into a never-ending drain. Let's dive in, and if you find yourself nodding along at any point, leave a comment with the number that resonates most with you. And hey, if this hits home, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell. Let's protect our peace together. Number 1, the constant taker. You know who they are. The ones who always call, but never just to say hi. They want a favor, a ride, a loan, your time, your energy, and they always need it. Take Gloria. She's 71, and for decades, she's been the dependable rock of her family. Babysitter? Check. Pet sitter? Check. Last-minute emergency savior? Always. Holidays? She cooked. Emergencies? She showed up. She remembered birthdays, comforted heartbreaks, and answered late-night calls like a second instinct. But when Gloria got sick, no one called. No one dropped by. Her birthday? Silence. The same people who once leaned on her now vanished like fog in sunlight. It hit her like a cold wind. This wasn't mutual. She was the giver, and that was all they saw her as, a background helper in everyone else's life story. Listen, being needed isn't the same as being loved. If someone only shows up when they need something, then they don't value you, they value your utility. Protect your energy. You are not a service. You are not a safety net. If kindness feels like a transaction that only you're funding, it's time to stop paying the bill. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do for yourself is to stop giving to those who only take. Number 2, the chronic critic. This person doesn't raise their voice. They don't insult you outright, but their criticism drips like water on stone, slowly wearing you down, word by word, comment by comment. It's not one blow that breaks you, it's the slow erosion of confidence over time. Think of Raymond, 82. Every week he visits his cousin with a loaf of bread and the hope of a warm conversation. But every visit ends the same way, with subtle jabs that land a little too hard. Your hair looks different. You sold that chair? You always overreact? Raymond used to laugh it off. That's just how he is, he'd say. But now, before each visit, he feels a tightness in his chest. He replays past remarks in his head, anticipating the next veiled insult, the next jab dressed as a joke. That's the thing about chronic criticism. It's often dressed in politeness. It wears the mask of concern. It calls itself just being honest. But what it actually does is chip away at your self-worth day after day. You've earned the right to live without justification, to wear your hair how you want, to decorate your home or your life on your terms. You don't owe anyone an explanation for simply existing. If someone makes you feel smaller every time you see them, if their words echo long after they leave, it's time to give them less of your space, less of your energy, and less of your heart. Drop a comment with number 2 if you've known a critic in disguise and if you've finally chosen peace over passive judgment. Number 3, the guilt tripper. Ah, the guilt trip. It doesn't storm in. It whispers, softly, strategically. You're too busy to help me? I thought family mattered. Meet Margaret, 79, a warm-hearted woman who's always been there for everyone. Her niece only calls when she needs something, a ride, a loan, a place to crash. And when Margaret, exhausted or simply unavailable, says no, silence, or worse, a heavy sigh, a cold tone, a passive-aggressive, "Okay, I guess I'll figure it out." These people don't scream. They suggest. They don't argue. They imply. and they know exactly which buttons to push because they installed them. They know your heart, and they use it against you. They weaponize your compassion. They twist your generosity into guilt. They turn your boundaries into betrayals and label your self-preservation as selfishness. But here's the truth. You are not selfish for protecting your peace. Love isn't conditional, and if someone can only love you when you're sacrificing yourself, it's not love, it's leverage. That kind of manipulation doesn't age well. It festers. It grows heavier over time. And here's the secret. Guilt has a language, and so does silence. So say no. Let your calm, unapologetic silence speak the self-respect they never gave you. Not out of spite, but out of self-worth. Not to punish them, but to protect you. Because your kindness should never be a leash. And your heart? It was never meant to be held hostage by obligation. Shun 4. The secret competitor. Sometimes it's not what they say, it's how they say it. Like Helen, 76. After a lifetime of putting others first, she finally joined a painting class, something just for herself. It was her quiet rebellion against years of self-sacrifice. Her friend Judy came along too, and at first, Helen was thrilled to have her there. But it didn't take long for the shadows to creep in. Your art is bold for your age. So fun how carefree it looks. I guess skill isn't everything. Judy smiled sweetly after each comment. But Helen felt a little dimmer each time, like someone was slowly turning down her light without her noticing. Secret competitors don't throw punches. They whisper doubts. They wrap jealousy in politeness. Their compliments leave bruises. And worst of all, they often come disguised as your biggest supporters. They can't bear to see you thrive, so they chip away subtly, making you question your right to shine. They resent your growth because it highlights their stagnation, so they lace every smile with salt and every cheer with a silent wince. You don't need that energy. You don't need to shrink for someone else to feel tall. Your joy is not a threat, and it doesn't need to be approved by anyone else. These aren't friends. These are saboteurs with manners, elegant destroyers of spirit. Protect your passions fiercely. Let your happiness be loud. Let your creativity be unapologetic. Because the people who truly love you, they'll fan your flames, not smother your spark. Comment number 4, if someone like this has ever tried to turn your light into a shadow. 5. The passive-aggressive manipulator. They smile, they joke, they pretend. But their words sting, their silences are loud, and every interaction leaves you second-guessing yourself. You leave the conversation wondering, did I do something wrong? Even when you know you didn't. That's the trap of passive aggression. Its harm hides behind humor, and its hurt wears the mask of civility. Harold, 83, knows this all too well. His neighbor Doug always grins, but when Harold asks for help, the jokes roll in. Don't want to throw out my back like you. You're finally slowing down, huh? These aren't just jokes, they're emotional darts wrapped in faux camaraderie. Doug never outright refuses, he just cloaks his unwillingness in sarcasm, forcing Harold to either laugh along or feel the sting alone. Passive-aggressive people never take direct responsibility. They won't say what they mean, but they'll make sure you feel it. They leave bruises without ever throwing a punch. Over time, you begin to doubt your perception, your worth, even your right to ask for help. You start walking on eggshells. You edit your words, you tiptoe around their moods, and you tell yourself it's not worth the fuss. But it is, because every small compromise you make for the sake of avoiding conflict chips away at your peace. Peace isn't something you request, it's something you defend. If someone's kindness always comes with a sting, it's not kindness, it's control, it's emotional manipulation in a smiley disguise. At this stage in life, your peace is priceless. Don't trade it for sarcasm and silence. You deserve straightforward respect, not jokes at your expense. You've earned the right to surround yourself with people who uplift, not undermine. And you have nothing to prove to those who cloak cruelty in charm. Final thoughts. So, who's been sitting too close to your peace? If you've recognized any of these 5 types in your life, know this: you are allowed to pull back, you're allowed to say no, You're allowed to choose your peace over their comfort. You've carried others long enough. You've over-explained. You've forgiven too much. Now it's time to choose you. If this message resonated with you, drop a comment with the number that spoke to your heart. Like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Let's build a life filled with people who give back what we give. No more pouring into empty cups. Your later years? They're not for fixing everyone else. They're for finally honoring yourself. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.